12 July 2020, and I'm joined by Mr. Tinashe Jonas from Ideal Zimbabwe. How are you, sir?
As usual, I'm in high spirits, and thank you for the opportunity to be on your Zimbabwe platform.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonas. And today we're going to go straight into the topic. There was a statement or a speech that was given by Mnangagwa on Friday during the ZANU-PF Politburo meeting. Did you manage to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it maybe 3 times, I guess.
Okay, that speech, what do you think about it?
First of all, it's good when the president is speaking, because we can only interact with him through his speeches, since it's not everyone who can have the opportunity to talk to the president. So the good thing is that the president was speaking, but I think I'm worried that most of the speeches of the president, they normally punctuated by kind of like threats. And also, the other good thing, he was mentioning the projects that the government are undertaking. But I'm also worried about that, because to the citizens of the country, are those the priorities? Are they not, the projects they are doing, they are manifesto based, meaning they do anything to win votes in 2023, not really to change the lives of people.
Okay, so I'm sure we can come back to the projects at the end, but I wanted to start with the complaint that was given by Mnangagwa about foreign embassies.
Yeah.
What do you think about his view that there are some foreign embassies that are interfering in Zimbabwe?
I think I would always, my interpretation and analysis will be on 2 sides of the coin, the ZANU-PF side, which is the government side, and also the opposition, which also represents the citizen side. On the ZANU-PF side, of course, domestic policy of ZANU-PF is totally in shambles, because they are not performing good in property rights, in also human rights, and also freedom of speech in the country. So when you are more authoritarian as a government, your domestic policy becomes in shambles. It affects your economy. And secondly, your foreign policy is hugely affected, because the foreign policy is motivated by domestic policy. So the government talks left and does right. So when your domestic policy, you are not in good books with your citizens, you are not in good books with the opposition, civil society, labor, and you are threatening everyone, you corner yourself. The behavior of the government, the speech of the president shows a speech of a leader and the party and the government which has cornered itself, which has run away from the people, which has run away from the world.
Okay. So are you saying the foreign embassies are not interfering in Zimbabwe?
They are interfering. What is giving them the gap? The gap is being given by opposition, which is crying. The opposition is not getting enough space. They are saying they can't breathe. Opposition can't breathe. Citizens can't breathe. The buck starts with the president and ends with the president. He's the commander of the ministers. He's the commander of the permanent secretaries. He's the commander-in-chief of the army and everything. So they said blame tools. I can't remember. They say maybe a bed.
A poor workman blames his tools.
Thank you. So the president in his speech is threatening. He's mentioning the labor unions, the opposition. Technically, he's mentioned everything in the world and in bed as bad. So the only person who is good is the president and ZANU-PF. Is that correct? That won't be a correct narrative. ZANU-PF surely are doing things wrongly, because they think they are the alpha and omega. That entitlement, that arrogance is what is killing the country. And secondly, compounded by their addiction to play politics, not development. ZANU-PF is already wearing the Mnangagwa, e.g. my president. When they've gone 3 years to develop infrastructure and everything, I mean, they are always in a campaigning mode. They are not friendly to the citizens. because they are avoiding. The president gave a speech. Was he put to task, question and answer with journalists? Nothing. We have got a president who gives speeches and he doesn't want to accept accountability. He doesn't do press. I mean, if he does press conferences, the journalists are given. He's given questions in advance, and he manufactures the answers. The president must be accountable. Whatever he says, he must subject himself to journalists or to certain people, the government leaders, the minister, and we don't need the commissariat of ZANU-PF to issue statements threatening the citizens. They are bypassing the government. From that speech, everything, we learned that the ZANU-PF is the government. They have not yet understood the difference between the party and the government. So that is a disaster.
Okay. He also mentioned the issue of corruption, and he said that if people identify corruption, they must take it to ZAC. What is your view on that?
That statement we get two indications on that statement. Now the first indication is that the president and this government have surrendered fighting corruption. They want citizens to walk to ZAC or to drive to ZAC and report corruption. What happens with the law enforcement agencies? We have got police in Zimbabwe, ZRP. We have got under ZRP, we have got CID, which investigates. We also have got financial intelligence, whatever. We also have got CIO in Zimbabwe. I mean, even military intelligence. Corruption is right now the biggest national security threat. Because the citizens are dying. People are hungry. So corruption is the biggest imperial power threat or colonization threat to Zimbabwe. And the president is just talking in a holiday mood that whoever has got corruption, go and report. In that way, he's trying to say if there are no reports, then the ZANU-PF government is not corrupt. It's a campaign statement. He's putting makeup to a corrupt face. The corruption is rampant. And he's also mentioning that the municipalities run by opposition are corrupt. It's the duty of the central government to investigate those municipalities and arrest people who must be arrested. He must not take the corruption in the country, which is under government responsibility, and equal it with what is happening in the municipality. We don't need corruption in ZANU-PF government. We don't need corruption in MTC municipalities. It's his duty as the commander of the country.
Okay. So he talked a lot about the 2023 elections.
Yes.
He said that the opposition should know that the party that won the election should run the country between one election and the next in 5 years' time. Do you think Mnangagwa is now preparing for the 2023 elections?
Yes. ZANU-PF since 1980, they run politics. They don't run much of developments. And but during that time, their foreign policy was sound. They were loved by the President Robert Mugabe was having coffee with the Queen, having coffee with the Johnny Majors, the American presidents. So donor funds were compensating the misgovernance of ZANU-PF. But now that their foreign policy is in shambles, donor funds are limited. They don't have anyone to cover up loans, credits. Facilities they've dried up. Now they are exposed. The president, by talking about 2023, he's positively introducing to us his politics of power retention, which doesn't have anything to do with the bettering the lives of the screaming and the suffering citizens. So it's so clear that ZANU-PF right now, they are spending money buying expensive jackets, everything, and not buying, even equipping one medical clinic in Harare with equipment. it's all about winning elections, and they promised to win the by-elections. So it's about politics. If we are looking at development, then it's a problem. Guaishangani Dam, it has been a campaigning tool since the 1981, since the 1980 elections. Up to now, we are told of Guaishangani. We are even dying now. We are old. We're still looking into that project.
Okay, but he also mentioned the road projects. He also mentioned the bridges. He also mentioned the rural agriculture projects. And he said in December, they're going to do a midterm review of their manifesto. Do you think this is enough?
It's not, because ZANU-PF has got the mentality of Alpha and Omega. Is the ZANU-PF manifesto good for Zimbabwe? That's the first question. Why do they think that as ZANU-PF, they are not separating the ZANU-PF and the government? When we talk about the government, they must do analysis of the country and come up with the diagnostic strategies to what is happening now on reality. Because there's too much, there's a big gap between the ZANU-PF manifesto, which was crafted 2 years or 3 years before elections, and what is happening to our economy 3 years later. So they are blind to that because they want to win elections. So they will stick to their election, to their manifesto as the oxygen, as the Bible of life, the book of life. Yet the government of ZANU-PF must also have an eye of the government, looking at the people, looking at the economy. It's about winning elections and say, we have delivered our manifesto, vote for us. It's about the vote. ZANU-PF must start loving people. They must even, if possible, they must lose power because they are in the lane of bettering lives. But ZANU-PF is in the lane of winning votes. So winning, these are contradicting lines. To win votes and to better lives. ZANU-PF choose to win votes. So they will say anything, they will do anything to convince people for their vote. They don't want to go to see reflectors of how people have improved their lives in the past 2 months. Why in December, I urge them to analyze the prices of goods, to analyze employment statistics. Those are indicators and industries which has come to Zimbabwe, foreign direct investment. So that those are indicators of improvement of people's lives. Not the manifesto review. A country can even live better lives without a manifesto. If the country has got a political will to look at the economic indicators, like the rate of the currency, like the employment rate, they are indicators which are clear, which doesn't need a manifesto. We need the intervention. The government must have intervention, ideas, because the country is in ICU. Talking of the manifesto is propaganda and is campaign, verbatism that doesn't help anyone.
Okay, so let's now end with the open threat that was given to the churches, to the unions, and to the security. You mentioned the word security. Do you think he was referring to the military, or what was happening there?
Our president is feeling is Mr. Zimbabwe. That is in a wrong corner of thinking. His mindset must change for the whole nation to have a positive mindset. That's number one. Number two, he is surrounded by yes people. People who can deliver. People who are incompetent would then resort to the strategy of worshiping the president. So the president has been made to be a king, rainmaker, by the cabinet and the executive of ZANU-PF called the Politburo, which are reduced to worshiping him. So it's like a group of people who are praying the leader. They don't have nothing to do with good governance, nothing to do with bettering lives. That's the first crisis. The second crisis is that the president is viewing everyone as an enemy because the people around him are not competent. They are coming with gossip, this embassy, these individuals, this what. So the president is given a big list of enemies. Yet the president must change a mindset and talk love, talk unity. So we have got a president surrounded by people who have expired in governance, who must be in old age homes, people who must be playing with their grandchildren. Those are the people who surround. We need, the president must fire a whole lot of people from the military to the CIO to the ZANU-PF executive. 90% of that is deadwood. So they are going to be a rumor mill. They are going to tell him to kill people, to arrest people, because they must be in old age homes. They must be playing with their grandchildren.
Okay, Mr. Tinashe Jonas, I think you summarized everything very, very nicely. That the president should be changing his focus and be trying to unite people. But given the fact that the 31 July demonstration is approaching, what do you think? Do you think he should have said something different or should have addressed that demonstration?
31 July, it won't happen because the people want to remove ED, people want to remove ZANU-PF. And then, I mean, ZANU-PF is summarized into police, ZRP, into CIO, into army. That's the definition, broader definition of ZANU-PF. So technically, when people want to do a demonstration to remove ZANU-PF, they are saying we want to confront the ZRP, we want to confront the CIO, we want to confront the army. Then you can't remove those three sectors of government without you having equipment like maybe your own guns and stuff. So the 31 July is a non-event. It won't succeed because the people would be facing the CIO and the army. Okay, now then obviously 31 July is an indicator that people are getting fed up. Zimbabweans, they don't hate ZANU-PF as such. But we say a hungry man is an angry man. So the president, people, they don't hate him. People, they don't hate the ZANU-PF. But ZANU-PF's corruption and misgovernance is making it to face the citizens, to be on the opposite end of the citizens. But the citizens are hungry. ZANU-PF rule in Politburo. They are eating and they are okay. Zimbabweans are in poverty. ZANU-PF Politburo, they are rich people. They are billionaires. So now it's Politburo, it's billionaires, bourgeoisie, and the citizens are in poverty. They become enemies. So the Politburo must start thinking of the poor people, not bribing people to vote for them. For now, they are even corrupting the citizens by lying to the citizens to vote for them. They must be dirty and do the real work.
Okay, I did not see General Chiwenga. Maybe I wasn't looking. Did he attend that Politburo meeting?
Even if he had attended or not, we know that ZANU-PF thinks politics, not development. So his attendance or not was going to be the same.
Okay, so I think we've exhausted the speech that was given by Mnangagwa on Friday during the ZANU-PF Politburo. Is there anything else that you want to say before we close?
Yeah, number one, I will say this to the president of Zimbabwe and say, Mr. President, we love you. You are a fellow brother. Can you start loving us back? We want love back. ZANU-PF Politburo, number one, I ask them as brothers and fathers to go home and play and take care of their farms. Young people with 30 years, 40 years must take up the ZANU-PF, must take up the government. They've played their part, these people. I'm asking them brotherly to go and rest. They must take care of their farms. This is the time.
Right, Mr. Tinashe Jonas from Ideal Zimbabwe, thank you very much for joining me again today, and we'll be back together again midweek as we talk about more topics. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity.